week's going to be super short. And there's not going to be much volume. So if you're not comfortable trading boring price action, and a lot of the moves would be expected, it should be a lot of responsive activity unless they lift the offer. Seems like they did overnight here. Thursday it's off, and then Friday we're open till 1 p.m. I would advise that Friday is really not tradable. It's going to be one move of 10-15 points, and that's going to be it. You're going to be living in hopes that you're right, whatever your trade is. So I would suggest that you guys don't do that, right? So probably, take Thursday, Friday off, enjoy with your family, but I would avoid trading those days. I mean, at least Friday. So with that being said, let's kind of go over that EPO. We'll start on the monthlies, then we'll zoom in weekly, the dailies, and then kind of talk about the balances that we're in. So with the gap that they're in now, obviously they are here. We talked about this 91.86 zone before when we said that's super important for us to go to the top of the penthouse, right? So there's a chance that they might be pulling for that. There is a poor high being set here on the weekly, and we'll be able to see it here shortly. So if you guys look, so there's 3 TPOs wide here, so we'll mark it, but I think there's an overnight high that's bigger than this. Let me make sure. Yeah, there's an overnight high, so there is unfinished auction overnight. So we'll call this overnight high, untested. Okay. And now when we take a look at it, right, just pay attention where we are in terms of the balance. So obviously we had, I would say, double distribution here on the weekly. We are in a top distribution, so the bears, they would love to lose the 69, or if we peak above the 91 to 86 zone, would you guys consider that short? So if we open tomorrow and we can't hold this area, I would say that becomes a pretty critical zone, at least that they hold. They should not let go below this value area here. If they do, then we know that this rejection here is fairly big, and they don't want to trade above, inside, and then most likely you would test 5887. Personally, do I think there's a possibility that we do that this week? I would say probably not, right? So usually Thanksgiving weekend and the week, they typically like to run it. So I wouldn't expect that. I would just play what's in front of me with no bias, honestly. As of right now, you're leaning more bullish than bearish. Okay. You're out of balance on weekly. Whatever. We're not framing up yet. But we're not even, well, I'm sorry, take that back. We are framing up still. We didn't put in the lower low yet. So I'd mark this. If I can just click. This will be our prior week low. Okay. And I would call this out right here. That's our weekly version of point of control. And then I would say that this zone right here is going to be your problematic for bulls, right? As they get in here, it's probably not the best to take longs. But as long as they're above this 91 to 86, I would treat that as a retest if they offer it, and then it would potentially look like something like this. Because they want to explore the area, maybe fix this overnight poor high, and that would be the really good play actually to catch 91 to 45. And how would you guys find targets beyond this? You guys have, where would you go?
Fibs.
From where to where?
I got some drawn from, I gotta look now.
So ask yourself, what are you trying to fib out, right? So what I would do, and just my thought process, if I grab the low to high here, and I look for, let's see, retracements, we bounced at 50%, right? We held 50, we came 61.8, and we bounced higher. So what you could do is you could take an ABC extension, right? So if you go here, trend based, if you go here, high to the low, you could find these extensions here, right? So you could have the next level being 58, then you have the 113, this one, and so on, right? And that'll be the next set of fibs. Or if you're not familiar with this, what's a good swing high to low that you could grab? What about from this point to here? And then of course change that to be extensions. Would that be fair? I'm trying to see from here to here, if the market was to replicate that, where's the 127? So mathematically, if this is 100, you're just basically finding where's the 27%. So you're multiplying this range, whatever that is in terms of points, by that range, and that's how you get this level. And you're doing the same here, you're just multiplying it by 1.618. This is 1, this is 6. Does that make sense? Whatever this range is, I don't know how many points, we'll find out. Does that make sense? Why?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on fibs from anyone? All right. So this would be the next targets, right? I would say somewhere around 53, and then 107 would be the next one if they can hold above it. Okay. In terms of levels, I would still think that this level should be on your guys' chart, at least on the RTH. I think it was 27 or something like that. 27.25 half that we need. I would say that was our prior all-time high. Okay, so that's our weekly. I would say we're still in a bullish state. And then we'll take a look at the monthly real quick. Even though month's not over, it's coming up, right? So with the monthly, it still has a little bit of overlap, and you know, they're trying to go here, which 60-20 would be very close to this. I would say the VPOC here, 25 points, so 5 points apart. So you can mark this one as potentially, what is this, November, that value area high. So, you know, if you're long here, I would probably target, 13 is gonna give a little bit of rejection, but ultimately they're gonna go for this zone here. If that's the play for tomorrow, I would expect them to go here. So this should be your first target, and then if you have some runners, you let it run to 41, 43, and I would tighten there, because you could, typically what they like to do is if they clean this up, then you get a selling tail. But considering this is, a slow week, maybe we don't get a selling tail this week. So I'd keep an eye on that. Does that make sense? And why?
Yeah, Shorty, but the PC is on Friday. Month end is a short trading day. How that can shape up?
I mean, it might not be unwinding as you think, right? Maybe they save it for December. Year end, unwind, don't even bother selling November. Run it up, into the year end, pay out the bonuses, and then execute. I don't think we're going to see a potential sell off for November. I think we're going to close above it. All right, let me see the daily. Just going to hide the candle. That's some crazy candles here. So we do have a poor high. If you guys remember, Ashley was screaming about. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, there is a poor high. So what does this mean if you're new? What does that mean? What does that tell you? Not the old folks that understand, and give the opportunity to older folks, newer folks to answer. If you don't know, what do you think it means?
Doesn't it typically mean that they like to break above it and then pull back?
But why is that?
Nobody wanted to pay that price. So it rejected.
Okay, keep going.
So they got to go down lower and find buyers and then try again.
Yeah, that's one thought process, right? So the other one is whenever you have a poor high and an uptrend, right? So when you go to a car auction, right? I mean, and this happens in every, right? Somebody, bids a price $500, somebody says 600, and you get 10 people raise their hand, right? As you go higher, what happens to the amount of buyers on an auction for a car?
Not a lot of them.
Not a lot of them. At least it's an inverse relationship. As the price goes up, the quantity participants drops, right? That's normal. But if it's sudden, like think about stock market, it moves in quarters. You go to quarter, and nobody's willing to bid that quarter in the whole market, and you auction lower from it. What does that tell you about the buyers then?
They don't like the price.
Well, they're exhausted. There's no more net new buyers. So either we were running on the old business, and the old business is short cover business, right? Meaning we shorted here on the bottom, right? And we're expecting a down. And then, the smart shorts or the big boys closed, and that caused the uplift. And now there's no new buyers. It was just a short old business driving the price up. So if you see a poor high and an uptrend, usually means an exhaustion on buyers, right? And obviously we gapped over it, so it's going to be important that they hold that level tomorrow. Because if you don't get buyers at the poor high, then it really means what?
It's gonna sell off, right?
Most likely going to sell off. That they're tired. There's nobody there. But if they bounce, which I think they will, but if they bounce there and they hold it, then maybe they're respecting something, right? Maybe they're tired for that day, but they got their energy back. Does that make sense? So poor high is just unfinished business. It means that nobody won at the top. They like to auction lower, and I was hoping they give us this for tomorrow, right? That they open somewhere here, right, towards PD value area low, and then that we target the poor high because it needs a cleanup. I mean, somebody needs to finish that auction. And I was hoping they didn't gap up, but hey, just part of trading. They gapped up, so we'll watch tomorrow, see if they hold, because this is a big zone here. This is a super big zone, this little area here. And it happens to be right at the poor high. So I think any retest here will be a long tomorrow. But we'll find out. Does that help you with poor highs a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of profile, like I've told
Shorty, are you speaking?
I don't think your mic's working.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Oh, okay.
so tired of shit. Anyone hear me?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that took long. All right. In terms of whenever you guys are looking at these profiles, just keep this in your back pocket, right? When you guys look at these profiles, especially when we're trading in the bracket, don't pay so much attention to, for instance, on this, whether it has a buying tail or selling tail inside. A buying tail or selling tail inside the bracket doesn't mean much. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'm just wondering what's your guys' thought process.
Doesn't it usually mean kind of a
Well,
lot?
who trades inside the brackets? What type of participants trade inside the brackets?
It would depend on like the time frame and when you're trading. Yeah, like if you're trading it for then, yeah, but if it's old business, then it's probably not valid.
Okay, let's revisit something that was in the class that will be again in your class. So I'll give you guys a scenario real quick. We're in this range right here, okay? The high and the low. We go above, we auction, we go below, we come back, we go above, and then immediately down below. Tell me where and what participants show up and what's probable, what's not. What's expected here and from who? What's expected here and from who? And same here. Scenario 1. What type of buyers and sellers? And then 5. And here, who trades in here inside? So
Short
1,
term.
what's expected here?
Aggressive sellers.
They would be passive sellers, right? Not aggressive sellers. There's a difference between an aggressive and a passive seller, right? Where do we typically find aggressive sellers?
On the bottom.
Usually you get the
Value high.
retail usually starts selling on the bottom, but sometimes what happens is that you have passive sellers sitting here at the ask, right? As you come, you hit the order. When it dips below a level, sometimes you see those imbalances, right? Hitting up in the red numbers. Somebody's trying to sell the inventory as quickly as possible before, it drops. So passive sellers here, and the expected behavior is what? Is it selling or buying?
Selling.
Initiative or responsive?
Responsive selling.
And remember, this is just for bracketed markets because we were in a bracketed market just now. We spend a lot of time, I would say, sometimes in these brackets. So it's not bad for you guys to know what is expected here.
Responsive buying.
And what about here now on the bottom? I'm sorry, in the middle. So if you're in a bracket, who seeks fair value? A long-term
Today.
trader or a short-term trader?
Short-term trader.
Short term.
Short-term traders like to trade within value. Why?
You're the
You guys are
dealer where they're
probably
just
tired.
making.
Like, why is he always asking why? This is the only way you guys are going to learn, by the way, is if you question all of it.
They're looking for fair value, right?
They're looking for buying the bottom, selling the tops. And why is that?
It's easier for them to manage.
Because it has a limited risk and a limited reward, right?
Yes.
So, but when it's, a trend day, then you have more risk, but you also have more reward because
More
you don't know where
reward.
you're gonna hit the supply of people selling. So you have to really manage it, right? When you're in a bracket, it's a limited RR, right? But it's expected behavior. So dealers, the locals, the short-term traders, they love trading inside. Other time frame participants, whenever something dips below value, what do?
They buy it all.
Buy it up.
Well, you want to buy it all, right? I mean, if I tell you like today that Apple Max headphones are going for $49.99, what are you guys going? You guys are going to drop off from this watch list and most likely go on Apple.com.
In the back.
Well, I'm just being serious, right? Because it's a great deal on the headphones, on good pair of headphones, let's say, and you would go and buy it, or whatever that is, right? And what is Black Friday? When you think about it, what is a Black Friday? Like, how would you relate that to stock market?
Below value.
Passive buyers.
Well, if it's below value, that's for you to judge, and if you spend money, right?
Right.
Right? Not everything is below the value, I would say. Some companies try to do tricks, right? Oh, it was
Yeah.
150, now it's 49, and then you check the price and it was always 49, right?
Yeah, it's always the same. Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to know what you're buying. Just because something is expensive doesn't mean it's good, right? Just because something is cheap doesn't mean it's valuable. You have to determine what that value is. It's like, you know, selling a snowblower in Florida. I'm pretty sure there's not a store in Florida that has a snowblower, right? For what? So the market's not there, right? There's no demand there, therefore most likely it's not going to sell. But if you can find something else, like a sand repellent off your body, you would sell it like hotcakes. And that's also in the stock market, right? We're at all-time highs. So again, am I bullish? Yeah, I mean the market right now is on clicking on all time frames, but am I willing to buy certain stocks at all-time high or put all my money into S&P 500 here? No. That's because I believe that, you know, I did not get a value buy yet on SPY. If that happens, then I'll look to pull a trigger, right? And that's what you probably have to do it on higher time frames to find that value. And speaking of values, right, they're usually found in balances like this one here. So if you guys look, this was a decent balance, right? Here, right? So we were inside the balance. And what's one trick you guys could do inside the balance in terms of fibs? What level you want to find?
Figs.
Well, you can find the figs, but most likely that would match what fib would it match?
50%.
Yeah, you want to watch for this 50%, right? See how do we behave around it. With the poor high, I wouldn't be shocked tomorrow that we get a retest. I wouldn't trade heavy if I was you guys this week. I think it's going to be hard to fade a lot of moves, so be careful fading. I would not advise doing that this week. And if you're new, you'll find out shortly why if you attempt. But at least this might pull back overnight here. It looks like this should give us a nice retest all the way to the bottom here shortly. So I did take that short. Okay. What questions you guys got? I was gonna do a class, but I know it's Thanksgiving and I'll be out of town from Thursday till Sunday. Me and my wife are going to Chicago without kids. How are you guys about doing a class the weekend after this one coming up? Especially the newer people, would that work for most?
Yeah, should be good.
Shorty's coming back with a new baby from Chicago.
Shorty's not coming back with a baby, man. That's what you do.
Yes, he is.
No more babies for Shorty.
So full of it.
Oh, come on, man. Just one more.
Cuban. And if you want to stay in the Discord, pick sides correctly.
Just
Shorty
one more, like your second one.
One quick trip to Colombia, and then a trip with his wife only without the kids, and there it is, baby.
No more kids, guys. I'm too old for kids. Wife's not, but I am. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining, and I'll schedule the class. I've actually changed the format of the class, and I think you guys will enjoy it. It will require you guys collaborating with others. That's all I'm going to say to pass the class. So hopefully you guys will find it difficult and challenging and a good learning opportunity, right? And if you guys are not familiar with TPO volume profile, I think it might be a really, really good experience coming up for you guys to learn differently a little bit about this.
Thank you, Shorty.
Okay.
Thank you,
Hey,
Shorty.
Good night,
before
guys.
you go,
Hey, guys. Sure.
threat level midnight works for both boy and a girl when you're thinking about baby names.
You're funny, man. Yeah, man. All right, guys. Have a good
Thanks,
night.
Shorty. Good night.
Bye.
Good luck.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm just gonna chime in really quick because there's questions at the end. I don't know exactly how long Shorty's been trading, but quite a while. He's a market maker, so he used to trade, with very large multi-million-dollar accounts. And when I say multi-million, like his smallest account was $500 million. As for Snow Blue Gotti, yes, we still expect it to come to 158, and that's where you're going to be looking to grab calls. As for Celsius, it's the plan has not changed on Celsius or Snow. Frederick, if you're interested, then you just join his Discord, and the link is in the description of the chat, or I can also just post it, in the description of the video. I will say the Discord is very, I don't want to really use the word exclusive, but it's a very small Discord. The price is literally set to kind of scare people away, if that makes sense. Shorty doesn't need to make money from Discord. He actually doesn't need to make money from trading. He has a very successful career where he makes very good money. He also makes very good money from trading. But if you can tell the kind of person that he is, he's very much like me, where he likes to help people and give back to people. And he's a very good, genuine person. And so he started the Discord to help other traders, basically. And he set the price at a level where it's going to scare away people that are not serious. If you're not serious about learning, he doesn't want you in the Discord. If you're not, going to be serious and not in there causing problems, he doesn't want you in the Discord. If you were to join the Discord, and there might be people in the chat that can speak up and speak on this right now, there's literally no issues. People don't argue, people don't insult each other. We don't have problems. We don't have to ban people. We don't have to time people out. We really don't even have to moderate people, because everybody that's there is a professional, in some form or fashion in their life. They're very serious about learning and committed to getting better. And there's just no troublemakers in there. And that's what Shorty was really trying to create when he did this, is to just have, a small group that's really interested in learning and growing, and that aren't going to cause problems. He could easily price the Discord for whatever, $10-20 and make millions, because tons of people would join. But doing that, it would be very hard for me and him to teach the people that are in the group, because it would just be overwhelming. And also, there would be a lot of troublemakers and problems and issues, and it would just become a hot mess. So that's what it's really about. And when I say all this, this is his Discord. Me personally, I'm not selling anything on here. I'm not promoting my own Discord. I'm not, selling courses or anything like that. And it might seem, you might be able to say, oh, well, you're promoting his. Yeah, sure. He's the man. And if that's where you want to, if you want to learn, that's where to go. But I also always say, Like, you don't have to pay anybody to learn, but it will expedite the process. Like, we give away everything for free on YouTube. We tell you what books you should read. You can do it all on your own. It's just going to be a little bit quicker with somebody helping you. With that said, much love, much respect to everybody. Like Shorty said, take it easy this week on trading. Me personally, if I trade, I'm going to size down majorly. Like, I normally trade like 1 ES. I'll probably trade like 1 or 2 MES or 1 or 2 MNQs. But I'm not even going to be like really tripping too much. Like, I might just, you know, look for the odd trade here and there and grab some little wins or whatever. But I also probably just am not really going to care too much about trading in general this week. So just be careful. Don't oversize. I wouldn't even trade with your regular size. Trade small. And I'm about to hop on a call with my mentee, and I'm going to recommend he does the same thing, which is size down to like 1 MES or 1 MMQ, if he does feel the need to trade. All right. Much love, everybody. Much respect. Peace out, y'all. And we will see you tomorrow afternoon. All right. Take care. Bye.